Hey, it's Mark Ferguson with Investor More, and we're back at this fourplex way too soon because another tenant moved out, and this tenant actually just moved in. So we're going to show you what the apartment looks like, talk about the situation, talk about what the tenant said happened and what they wanted to happen, which is a little bit crazy, and we'll talk about another tenant who's causing problems here too. Now, a lot of people ask me, well, why are you keep buying rental properties? What's the point? Is it worth it? Well, I paid $192,000 for this property in 2018. That was it back then, and it's probably worth about $400,000 to $500,000 now. So there's a reason why I keep buying rentals and why it's worth it to put up with these headaches. Now, this is actually the same street I owned a bar on for a while too. That was not the smartest thing I ever did. So we sold that, thank goodness, and there's some chickens down the road. But anyway, so in January, this property went vacant. And the tenant had told us, hey, what's it cost if I don't clean the apartment? So we're like, great. So we told them to charge a cleaning fee, take out the deposit. So they moved out. We went to see what it looked like. It wasn't awful, but it was definitely dirty and had some issues. And so we cleaned it up, got it re-rented. And the new tenant let us know 3 weeks ago and that, hey, I'm going to move out. And we're like, you just signed a year-long lease. You can't just move out. What's going on? And they said, well, their dad offered to let them stay at their place, so they don't need to pay rent anymore, so they're just going to move out. And can they just move out and get that month's rent prorated? And we're like, nope, it doesn't work that way. There's a lease breaking fee. We can't just prorate the rent to the day you move out when you're in the middle of a lease. And there's a lot of things that go on with it. So what ended up happening was we charged them the lease breaking fee, we charged them a full month's rent, and they moved out, gave us the keys, and we're going to show you what it looks like in just a second. And this is the apartment in January after the other person moved out without cleaning. So it wasn't bad, definitely some trash left, and the bathroom was pretty rough, but otherwise it was okay. Now, before we get into that, we've had some other issues with the tenant. We've had a tenant on the main floor who's lived in this building since I bought it in 2018, actually lived upstairs. We moved them into a basement unit because they wanted more space, had remodeled that unit for them, and their rent is very affordable, very affordable. We've raised it once in 6 years, and along that whole time, they're supposed to be paying utilities. Well, sometimes they pay them, sometimes they don't. They'll get caught up, they'll get behind. Right now, they're a couple $1,000s behind on utilities. And we sent an eviction notice there a couple of months ago. They called us right away, started paying extra, and then stopped again. And they're literally only paying rent now, not any of the utilities, so they're getting farther behind. Well, not only that, but they keep leaving cars and junk all over the property. So when I was there in January, they had another car there. We've told them numerous times they can't just store cars in the back parking area because there's not room. There's 4 tenants here. They all need a place to park. They can't have cars back here. They'll move them, then they'll bring them back. Another issue came along where Excel, the energy company, needed to replace a meter, do some work on the back, and they had stuff back there piled on the porch, which they're not supposed to have, because that's also where the cellar access is. And we've told them numerous times you can't have stuff there. They'll move it. Almost immediately, they'll start piling stuff back up there again. So this time, we were coming to see what their place looks like as well, and we brought another pay or quit notice, which is basically like an eviction notice. And this is what we found today while there. Another car, tires, junk, more stuff moved in, and not only that, there's dog poop all over the yard. He is not allowed to have pets. That is not his lease. And I'll let you listen here for just a second. Yes, all the stuff is still there. There were multiple dogs in there barking, and they did not sound small. Neither did their poop look small either. But here is what the apartment looks like today as well, after the tenant moved out in a couple of months. So luckily, it's not trashed, it's not destroyed. It is a little dirty, so we're probably going to have to send a cleaner back. We'll take that out of their deposit. We charge them a lease breaking fee. We charge them a full month's rent. It's just a little frustrating because it's not like these apartments just rent themselves. I've got people in my office who will go show tenants. We have to pay them. We've got to write a new lease. We've got to check them, do background checks, do all kinds of stuff. There's a lot of different things that go into it. So When we signed a year-long lease, it would be really nice if the people stayed there at least a year. And something else strange we noticed was there's no blinds. And I can't remember if we rented it like this before. We almost always put blinds. And then I think we had our guys come replace the baseboard heaters because they went on the fritz, and they didn't quite finish the job. There's still paint missing around them. So I think they put smaller heaters in and didn't touch up everything. But overall, like, it could be way, way worse, but still annoying, still frustrating. And people think, oh, people should just be able to move out whenever they want, in and out. It's not their fault. Well, it costs us money, it costs us time, and we don't make a ton of money on the actual rent on these properties, right? Most of the reward comes from the equity buildup when you finally sell or if you refinance them. It's not like these are just bringing in millions of dollars. This rents for $1,000 a month, and yeah, so could be worse, could be better. Here's what it looks like. Now, what will be really interesting is what the other unit looks like once that person moves out. Because now that we know they have pets, we're just sick of them. We're actually going to go post another notice for pets, for a notice to pay or quit. And so we're going to try and get them out and get their cars out and have a tenant who will respect the property. But it might be interesting to see what it looks like once they are out, especially if they've got dogs in there. Who knows? So that's the property. That's what's going on for right now. We'll have some other move-outs that could be interesting coming up as well, so it's a good time to follow the channel. And we'll have updates on the laundromat and businesses and commercial rentals as well. All right, thanks for watching. Be back soon. Let us know what you think.